Our second unit is all about finances. Now we start out fairly simple. The first thing we're going to do is look at how we spend our money. So we've got an example of Maria, who spends $20 every week on coffee and $130 per month on food. First thing we want to do is compute how much she spends on each thing in a whole year. So if she spends $20 every week on coffee, that's $20 times every week. There's 52 weeks in a year. So she spends a total of $1,040 every year on coffee. She spends $130, that's per month, on food. So that's $130 times, there's 12 months in a year. That means she spends $1,560 per year on food. Now we want to look at how much she spends on the first set of expenses as compared to the second set of expenses. To do that, we're going to change that to a percentage. So we take the $1,040, we divide it by the $1,560. We get that answer, and we're going to change it to a percent. And I always ask that you go to 1/10 of a percent. So rounded, that would be 66.7%. What that means is if she quit drinking coffee, she would save 2/3 of what she spends on food every year. Cassidy just started trying to get her spending under control, but she can't quite get rid of her credit card. She maintains an average monthly balance of $1,100, which means essentially she spends a little, she pays a little. Her average balance stays at $1,100. Her credit card charges 24% annual interest, and what that means is 24% annually. If she makes monthly payments, because we're talking about monthly, she doesn't get charged 24% every month. 24% is how much she gets charged per year. Since that's split up into 12 payments, she actually pays 2% interest per month. So we want to know how much interest is she actually paying on her credit card. So she has $1,100 and she pays 2% in interest every month. That's $22. And if we multiply that times 12 to see how much she spends per year, that's $264 of what she sends them every year goes straight to interest. That means straight into the credit card company's pockets. Now the other thing we need to talk about is sometimes we have expenses that aren't monthly, but if we wanted to talk about making a monthly budget, we should do what we call prorate them, so that even though the expenses aren't monthly, we could set aside some money each month to pay these expenses when they come due. So we have a list of expenses that we pay twice a year. So $3,500 for tuition, we pay that twice a year, which means we pay $7,000 a year. We spend $750 in student fees twice a year, which is another $1,500. $500 for textbooks each semester, that's another $1,000 a year. But then we pay an additional $120, but that's only once a year, for parking. We add up all these yearly expenses for school, and it turns out to be $9,620. That's for a year. If we want to fit it into a monthly budget, we divide that by 12, and we would need to put expenses in our budget of $801.67 per month to pay for our schooling.